a production of South Carolina ETV.
Good evening, Merry Christmas, and welcome to Making It Grow, a common-sense approach to gardening in South Carolina. I'm Roland Alston with the Clemson Extension Service. On this breezy November evening, we're once again broadcasting live from Sumter's award-winning WRJA studios, receiving calls from South Carolina gardeners, and answering your questions with a panel of experts. In addition, our panel will give you some gift ideas that should make everyone happy on Christmas morning. Also, the Making It Grow team will take its cameras across the Palmetto State and show you some agricultural operations which are most appropriate. Phone lines on hold right now. You know, for more than 10 years, Trudie Barkus in Lexington County has been making cornshuck dolls. This is a craft that originated in the Appalachian Mountains, and it was to create toys for our early settlers. Now, these handmade dolls are now in demand by collectors all over the United States. South Carolina farmers plant over 300,000 acres of corn that's used primarily as a feed for livestock and poultry. But in the St. Andrews section of Lexington County, the old cornshuck is used for a different purpose. We're with Trudie Barkus. Trudie, you're using this cornshuck, but you aren't using it for animal feed.
No, we don't feed any animals with our cornshuck. I make a doll out of cornshucks that I've been making for 21 years. I learned it when I was a field specialist for the Tennessee Arts Commission when I was in college, and they paid me a salary to learn a dyeing craft. And the woman who originated this style was in her 80s when I learned it.
Why did you get involved in dolls and cornshucks?
I think it sort of happened to me more than I happened to it. I picked it up, I began making them as gifts for friends, and my first craft show I went to, I sold everything I had made in the first day, and I stayed up all night long making them and sold them all the next day. By then I figured I better work on this a little more.
Well, tell us about some of your dolls, because you've got some different styles here in your studio.
Right. I make about 60 different dolls. I add 2 or 3 new dolls every year for collectors who've got everything I've made, because there's several who have every single doll I've ever made. So I want to keep them happy, so I come up with a new doll every year or 2 for them. I also have a new Christmas doll every year, and there are people with collections of just the Christmas dolls. I make a little simple angel out of cornshucks that we call the messy angel that uses South Carolina Spanish moss for hair. She's having a very bad hair day. And then on the other styles, some are very elaborate, some are very simple, and there's a range between those different styles. I make school teacher dolls, I make literary characters, I make all the people from Gone with the Wind, and all the different kinds in that way.
Trudie, when these cornshucks come into your studio, you got to change the colors of them.
Got to do a lot to them. They come in plain and dried. I have to sort out the good shucks from the bad shucks. The bad ones with wormholes are stuffings. I use them to stuff the body, which is this part here. Then the ones that are pretty, I will then dye in a big canning vat on top of my stove and mix colors as I go till I get a color I like. Then I dry all that. When I get ready to make the doll, I wet it again.
Trudie, you've got a substance here that I'm losing quite a bit of. It looks like hair, but this really isn't human hair, is it?
No, it looks like it. This is the raw fiber that linen is spun out of. It's called flax fiber. And it's made by beating the flax reed against, letting it rot in water, beating it against stones, and then it threads out and makes this fiber. And it is sold by weaving supply houses to spinners who then spin linen thread out of it. And this is the choice I use for hair. It's historically correct as well, but it's also much more durable than corn silk hair, which I originally used.
Trudie, some of your dolls have done some international traveling.
Yeah, just recently, about a week ago, I got back from Costa Rica, from way up in the country in the primitive areas of Costa Rica. We were in the shadow of the volcano, and a group from my church went together to help build a little church in Guayabo, which is the little town that we were in. And during that time, during the week, I taught about 40 Costa Rican women how to make this little cornshuck angel, and with the hair made out of Spanish moss. And they picked up on it really fast, and they grow corn all over in Guayaba. So Costa Rica's very, very big on growing corn. So I was hoping maybe they could use it and develop themselves a little industry there.
Trudie, I believe these dolls have a very historical significance.
Yes, they do. When parties of people would get together probably 100 years ago in the Appalachians, they would have corn shucking parties, and they would shuck lots of corn at all the same time, and the children would gather the shucks up and make clay dolls out of the shucks, and then they would use the corn silk for the hair, and that was the origin of it.
I know you're very proud of your work, and some of your work has gained national recognition.
Yes, it has. My dolls were given by the state of Tennessee to the United Nations, all the members of the UN and Kissinger and Ford. And then most recently, they were, other than they've been given to dignitaries in Japan, and most recently they were given to the 19 Southern governors of the United States as a state gift, red and scarlet hair.
I believe one of your dolls appeared with Willard Scott on the Today program.
Yes, it
What did
did.
he do, help Willard with the weather?
I think it did. He held it up and talked about it and showed her hair, and I guess her hair was holding together in the humidity, and he was proud of that. And he had a good time showing it off, and it was good for me.
Trudie, we always want to talk about market for South Carolina products. Where's your market for this doll in our state?
My dolls are shown at the Rita Smith Gallery in Charleston, and that's the main outlet for them. And I have collectors who contact me personally through my brochure or my P.O. box here.
You have certain editions, and you also sign these dolls, too.
Correct. I sign each doll with my name and the date, and then the first 100 of a new style is also a limited edition, and they accrue value faster.
When someone tells you, aw, shucks, it's really not funny to you, is it?
No, it's important to me.
Thank you so much for being with
Thank you.
Okay, we've got these dolls right here with Trudie Barkus, and let's get a close-up of them if we can right there. I think the dolls really speak for themselves and what Trudie can do. This is about all the time that we have on Making It Grow tonight. Panel, I want to thank you and wish each of you a very Merry Christmas, and hope you have a safe trip back to your respective towns. Hope Santa Claus is good to you. Sam, I hope you enjoy those fish. We've also want to put up on the screen now our address for all these gifts that you saw tonight. Give us a line, drop us a line here at Making It Grow. That address, 18 North Harvin Street here in Sumter. And we'll send you a list of the recipes that Dory Sanders had. We'll also send you a list of where all these gifts in South Carolina can be purchased. We want to leave our money, if we can, in South Carolina this year when we shop. We also want to contribute to that South Carolina ETV endowment, which would also make a very, very good Christmas present. Our next program will be next year, January the 3rd at 8 o'clock. We look forward to hearing from you. On behalf of the entire Making It Grow team, we want to wish each of you a very, very Merry Christmas. We hope you have a good holiday. We think 1995 has been good to us, and we look forward to seeing you next year on Making It Grow. Merry Christmas.
Making It Grow is made possible in part by grants from the electric cooperatives of South Carolina. Consumer-owned electric cooperatives provide economical power for more than 1 million South Carolinians, empowering people with opportunity. And Farm Credit in South Carolina, meeting the growing demands of tomorrow, today.
For questions or comments about this program, you can reach us at our email address, wrjatv@mail.sunbelt.net. Internet access is provided courtesy of Farmers Telephone Cooperative.
Also, all right.